If you're live with us, you can type your questions in the box, or preferably you ask the questions out loud by unmuting yourself whenever you are ready to jump in and the person before you feels complete. This is a beautiful thing for us all to experience and share in. And ask any questions that you want, knowing that the Pleiadian Council is capable of, well, answering most things, though they never work in a very deterministic way, exploring this true understanding that we have free will and we're creating our reality and that the future is open. And so we can tap into probable futures, but the idea of destiny is not something that is really part of this expression and experience. And yeah. So donations are gratefully accepted. If you want to contribute to this, it's very much appreciated and supports me in continuing to do this. You can also do a private session. I'm available for those. And also teaching channeling. Another course will start in some months. But anyway, I guess it's time to begin.
So remember to mute yourself, everybody. Thank you. Luke. Yeah.
Hello, and we extend our thanks and welcome to. It is a pleasure to meet you in this way, and we thank you for choosing to co-practice, serve, growth, and benefit of all. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many others coming to support your world through this grand process of ascension. So, we are here to support you in your own process of evolution, understanding that those experiences and expressions that resonate most in your heart with the feeling of love, joy, expansion, are always those things that are the truest calling of your soul, and also those things that will serve the expansion of your reality in the clearest and highest way as well. With that said, we can say that your excitement extends even beyond your expression in the physical realm. And part of this process of awakening, ascension, however you wish to term it, for your purpose of understanding, is that you are also coming to experience yourself as a spiritual being inhabiting an astral body as well. And when we come through with these transmissions, there is both a translation of much information, as well as there is an astral connection we extend to all of you, that if you should choose to open to receive these vibrations, you may come into a personal experience of contact with us as well. Now, you are having astral experiences every night when you go to sleep. Every night you, in a sense, return to spirit. And in this deeper spiritual expanded connection, your physical body integrates new information, new energies from these higher realms all the time. In order to make the best out of your physical incarnation, you can use these nightly adventures into these other realms as key moments of experience where you can intend to visit some certain locations. We, as the Pleiadian Council, and well, really many of these other extraterrestrial groups supporting your planet, have certain places, both on our ships and on our planets, that can accommodate you and support a sort of vibrational attunement. Some of these things are crystal healing grids and beds. Some of them are flotation tanks and energy healing, where frequencies are transmit into your body for you to integrate higher frequency energies and do you simply hold that intention to come to these places. You can receive this information. Many of you have these without even consciously remembering it or consciously intending to do so. There is a deeper part of you that can go into these planes to go to different realms and places of learning and healing. You can expand this ability even more when you come remember the dreaming while you are asleep. And there are many different tools to do this. And first of all, you must be making sure that you are having enough sleep, that you are sleeping deeply enough, that you are taking good care of your body so that you can come to in the dream state. You must, in a way, start to entrain the same brainwave frequencies while you are awake, the theta brainwave state, which is the state that you are in when you are dreaming, can be created through meditative experiences and shamanic experiences, anything that induces a mild hypnotic sort of trance. The more that you get comfortable in that state, the easier it will be to stay awake and aware within that state when you are dreaming. Another thing you can do is to continually, as you go through your day, ask yourself, am I dreaming? You can have different cues that support you in doing that, such as writing a symbol on your hand. Whenever you see it, you ask yourself, am I dreaming? You can, whenever you go through a doorway or see a certain phenomena that is very common in your world, ask that question again, am I dreaming? And then attempt to do certain things that are not possible in physical reality, but are possible in the dream realm, such as pushing your fingers through your hands, such as jumping up and flying, such as transforming the world around you. Can you do that? And by starting to play with this fantastic mindset that perhaps it would be possible to bend physical reality around you, you then, when you are dreaming, will be able to ask this question once you have become familiar with the idea of asking again and again, is this real? Is this a dream? What am I capable of right now? When you are dreaming and you ask yourself this, you will discover that you have a waking sort of control over your experience in that realm. And you can then come to play with the dream realm. First of all, understand even that when you take control of the dream realm, there are certain aspects of your subconscious that will still fill in the details, which will allow you to decipher the meaning that you are giving to events and to reality at those subconscious levels based upon your belief systems. And as you interpret the dreams, investigate them. Yet that is not the only thing that occurs when you are dreaming. You are also meeting with different spirits and guides. And as you come to be more familiar with all of these different connections, you can use the dreams to deepen in your feeling of love and camaraderie with them, and then take that connection into your waking state to call upon them as allies and be more familiar with their energy so you can bring it into your reality more. Also, as you gain these abilities to change and transform your dreams, it wakes you up to the ability that you have to change and transform in physical reality. Because whatever you believe is possible is. And simply by incarnating into physical bodies, you adopt a certain degree of beliefs that maintain the structure of physical reality. Yet, as all beings in every plane are gradually evolving to experience themselves in higher dimensions, throughout your incarnation, the beliefs and definitions you have about physical reality will change, and hence your experience of it will change as well. The same abilities you have in your dreams can be possible in your physical reality eventually. You can actually bend the fabric of physical reality if you believed it to be so. And it takes lots of practice and lots of experience. Though the first expression of this that most of you are becoming familiar with is this idea of manifesting. The understanding that by attuning your vibration to something, by believing that you are worthy of it, that it is possible to have it, and that the universe will bring it to you in the right time, when you let go, you can experience how you create new things for yourself. You create phenomena and you attract people, circumstances, and experiences into your life magically. And mastering this expression of dreaming will certainly help you in doing that as well. And well, finally, the great purpose of this dreaming and this understanding of the importance of your dreams is really that your physical reality itself is a dream. It is a dream of Source expressing itself through an infinite amount of different parts that are all essentially that one source. You are experiencing a grand dream. And really, when you go into your sleep and you experience what you call dreams, that is a more accurate expression of the spiritual realms and of Source than the physical realm. Well, more accurate in the sense that it is a higher vibrational level. And that is not to say that lower vibrational is not as good or as bad, yet it is simply not the whole thing. So savor these times when you journey into the sleep state, and in a way, make it a sacred appointment. Instead of seeing your sleeping as something that you just have to do to recompensate your energy, see it as a grand appointment with your divine higher self and with all of your guides, and as a sort of training ground. It is a place where work can happen, and it is, yes, meant to be fun, rewarding work. It is not an effort. So if you turn it into an effort, you will find that you struggle at it, because that is what effort does. Though if you see it as that grand opportunity for growth, and you focus into the experience of dreaming and always asking yourself, is this a dream? Is this real? You can start to see the difference between fantastical beliefs and the truer expression of your soul. And the irony is that so many who cooperate with the very typical beliefs and frameworks of reality will think that such magic and higher dimensional phenomena we discuss is the fantasy, is the unreality. Yet the truth is, the fantasy is that you are simply limited to physical reality, and that physical reality cannot change effortlessly when you change your internal focus, your internal orientation that guides you to perceive new things, new experiences. And through your perception, change those things that you are perceiving. So we hope this supports you, and we hope that it helps you grow and expand very much. Before we then continue with the idea of your questions or answers, we can again say to you that these times you are in are grand, profound, and in many senses, challenging. Though when you continue to remember, this is a grand dream that Source is expressing through you, it can help you diminish the significance of some of the negative experiences and stay focused on the positive dream of the future you are creating. Yes, you must actively participate in the construction of a new reality, a new earth. But do you dream it? Are you dreaming a nightmare, or are you dreaming a utopia? And certainly through the definition of this word apocalypse, that is what is occurring right now. It is the end of an era. Though so much of the time you have described this as an apocalyptic nightmare. Yet, could you suppose that there is also an apocalyptic utopian dream? Could you dream that for yourself? Is that what you are focused on? What does this apocalyptic utopian dream look like? What changes in your society and in the way that people see and perceive things? How can you actively participate in that? That should be the questions you ask as you continue your dreaming, yes? And as well, know that, again, you are a powerful being. And the grand trap that so many are in right now, the greatest belief that is being dismantled from your collective, is that someone outside of you has power over you, could force you to do certain things, and is powerful enough that they can control and direct you. When actually, believing, again, that they can do this gives them more power than they actually have. You have free will. You will always have free will. You will always, absolutely always have free will. And that includes the free will to choose how you perceive circumstances. Again, so much of this is in your perception. Much as you wake up within a dream, you may become conscious and see an escape route to a situation you are in. Or you may see the light in a supposed negative being that has come into what you describe as a nightmare. In the same way, when you change your perception about what is occurring in your world today, you will as well be able to see the gifts that lie within every circumstance that you deem and describe as a challenge or as negative, and use it to develop your strength within this, again, new apocalyptic utopia. We hope that helps you. We hope that supports you. And now we would, of course, enjoy deepening in our experience and our connection by answering and reflecting with you any questions that you may have. You may begin whenever you would like.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
I just had a question that I want to ask.
All right, yes.
Okay, I mean, what I want to ask is, how do I get in touch with my highest passion? Because I think that I'm very out of touch with it, because it's like when people talk about it, it's like they have like this compass that points you in the right direction, but I don't have a thing like that, and I wish that I did, and I don't know how to get in touch with it. So do you know a way that I can get in touch with it that would work for me, that would actually
Yes.
be effective?
Oh, yes. It, again, begins in a very simple way. When you bring and direct all of your focus to your heart is your compass. And those who have a very clear sense of direction as to where they're going have simply gotten very accustomed to tuning into the compass of their heart. So it begins with bringing your focus there, and you can even practice when you are feeling indecision, or you don't even need to feel indecision. You can feel an openness, a contentment, but bring your hands to your heart and simply get in tune with its beat, with its rhythm. Listen to it, feel it, and sense any sensation here in your chest area. And then consider every potential choice that you have, anything you could do with that moment. You could create something, you could take a walk in nature, you could interact with a person, you could study something, you could exercise, or you could simply stay and meditate. These are very few of the infinite choices you have. And when you take a moment to consider all of them and notice how your heart responds, which of these makes your heart respond in the most sensational and joyful way? Which of these makes your heart beat a little bit quicker than the others? This is the thing that will lead you in the direction of your highest passion, you could say. Because you cannot discover your highest passion without truly knowing what your smallest passion is. We would say your highest passion involves all of those little passions. It means that every single thing that you do is connected to the unique way that you express your gifts and your joy into the world. It means that by being very mindful of how every choice you are making affects you and how it raises or lowers that frequency you can feel in your heart, you can then weave together all of the threads of those things that you are doing to create the very great big dream. Though you can't get to the biggest dream until, again, you are so tuned into your heart's compass and able to give your attention to the details of the smallest dreams as well.
Thank
Can
you
you
for the
play with that?
answer.
Yes.
What I want to ask is, what if you don't feel anything in your chest or in your heart? What if that is how it feels? What should you do?
You don't feel anything at all.
Not really, no.
Do you feel your heart beat? It is not beating then, is it?
No, I mean, I didn't mean in that sense. I meant more like I don't feel like a noticeable response in my chest or in my heart when I think about options.
Do you feel it somewhere in your body, perhaps in your gut?
Um, you mean like a response?
Yes, a response
Um,
of excitement, of motivation.
okay, can you just give
Of,
me like, I'm just gonna do it right now if that's okay. I'm gonna think about like 2 or 3 possible things I could do, and then
but
see the
again,
response.
you aren't fully understanding what we're saying, because
Okay,
right
what are you saying?
now
I'm listening.
you are engaging with us, this is what you are, to an extent, putting your energy into. So right now, this is what you have chosen as your excitement.
Yes.
So in order for this to really work, you have to be fully engaged in the present moment. And so if you are thinking about the next thing you are doing, you are in a way dissociating from the present moment. You are
Okay,
pushing
but
your energy into some unknown future.
I
So
thought that you said the exercise was to think about something though, and then like think about a possible choice, and then to see how that makes you feel.
yes, but that is something to do in every moment throughout your day, not something to do. You can listen to your heartbeat right now and get in touch with your heart. Yes, we encourage you to do that. Though this practice is meant to be done in the moment. In the moment you are about to make a decision that leads you in a certain direction.
Okay.
And as you do that, it'll lead you, if you continue to do it again and again, in the direction of those bigger dreams you are working to experience.
Okay. Thank you.
And understand that you have to as well shift from a framework of belief that is very common in your world, that the purpose of experiencing the creation of your greatest dream is to be successful,
Okay.
is to be worthy, because you're already worthy. Instead, the purpose of experiencing your greatest dream is to enjoy it, is to feel good within it. And when you understand that, it makes much more sense why whatever feels good right now will lead you to manifesting that very great dream.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So can you know the difference between when some exercise or experience or use of your energy leaves you feeling good versus when it makes you to feel negative or drained of energy?
It can be difficult though, because like lots of things just make me feel negative. So, it can be hard to tell.
But do the experiences make you feel negative, or do what you believe or think about them make you feel negative?
It's hard to say.
Again, it's in the moment, not after the fact. Does it feel enlivening, filling you with passion in the moment?
What about like things that 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 feel good, but that are not good for you, like eating junk food or just doing drugs or something like that?
Well, that's a very different sort of good feeling than the one we're describing. And this is why we always encourage you to bring yourself into your heart center.
Okay.
Because your heart will not feel that same joy when you are simply eating junk food or taking a numbing sort of drug.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those experiences are not something you're doing in order to feel good as much as it is a mask for negative feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And with the idea of doing drugs, well, some of those mostly natural, almost entirely natural, you would say, medicines or substances or drugs are powerful permission slips that show you what it's really like to be flowing from your heart, that take you to these higher states of consciousness so that you can find a pathway to entrain that state again. So not all of those are bad or negative, though you can understand that when they have a toxic effect on your body, they are not really the best of permission slips. And those that numb you are often not the best permission slips either.
Okay.
Yes,
Um,
we encourage you to really, during this transmission, hold your hands on your heart and focus on the heartbeat.
okay.
Learn to keep your focus here and live from a heart-centered place, and much of this will become clear. So practice that. If that evolves into something, please do tell us about it. We will continue at a later point in the transmission then.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who's next then?
If there's no question on the Zoom, then there's a question here on the Facebook Live.
All right.
Jessica is asking, I would like to hear your perspective on how to release worry, stress, and anxiety in best way. And if there is time, can you give information on what effect worrying has on others, if you worry much about your children? Thank you.
All right. The very best way, well, it's different for everybody. The first thing we would say is that you must check. Are you acting from your anxiety, or are you acting from your passion? Because this anxiety has very much to do with, if you simplified it, what you are doing, the way you are doing it, and what you are believing about yourself in relationship to what you're doing or who you're doing it with or for. So let's talk about each of them. Are you doing that thing which really feeds your heart? Are you doing something that is based in love? Are you doing something that you naturally have passion for and joy for? Sometimes anxiety and excitement blend, though sometimes they don't. Sometimes this anxiety only arises from doing something that is not truly yours. You may be doing it because of a negative belief, because you are obliged to do it, because of an agreement you've made with another person, or simply because it is a pattern that goes on a loop. Now, the next idea then would be the way that you are doing something being out of alignment. You can be doing something that fills you with passion, but you are doing it in an overly perfectionistic way. You are doing it in a way where you are so focused on the idea of avoiding failure that you are not really in it for the experience of it itself. So this is why you have to release every attachment to your own expectations. Understand that when you make a mistake or when you fail, even when you lose something in terms of physical value or time, you are gaining a lesson that allows you to not make the same mistake again. And therefore, it is a valuable and important experience. And you never have an experience that is not valuable and important. And when you are really able to fully trust that the way that you do things will change. You will be able to do the same actions mindfully and slowly, or that not necessarily slowly, but at the pace you prefer. And you'll as well be able to fully give yourself into that flow state so that it is simply an effortless wave of energy that moves through you and motivates you to do whatever it is you are doing. And finally, anxiety that can come from a belief system. When, again, you are believing that you may prove yourself to be unworthy if you fail, the anxiety always creeps in. When you believe that the universe is against you, and if you don't get it right, there won't be more resources, love, or attention, or something that you desire, you allow anxiety to creep in. When you again shift your belief systems to know that you are infinitely worthy, infinitely valuable, and that there's always enough for you in some way, then you can move through these negative, these challenging circumstances with greater ease. So investigate your belief systems. What do you believe about yourself that may be causing this anxiety? Worry is perhaps the same or similar, though worry has to do with a deeply seated negative belief. Some of the negative beliefs we've already discussed certainly play into worry, and there are others as well. The worry is generally the projection of the outcome, because there's a belief that says projecting the worst outcome will keep you safe. And really, it only leads you to sabotage. Because while you are focused on the worst outcome, your vibration syncs up with that. It comes into alignment with that, and you are more likely to attract that. So you must let go of that tendency and understand that there is not so much chance as much as there is alignment of vibration. And when you understand that, you will see the worry itself as useless, and you will be able to discard it. How does worry affect others? Well, when you, again, project onto somebody the idea of their worst outcome, you reinforce that in their field. When you worry that perhaps somebody will get sick or make a mistake, and they feel you worrying about that on some level, be it conscious or subconscious, that does leave an imprint in their field that in a way can make them more likely to follow that path. It does certainly depend on their own worth and worthiness, their belief in that. That's what we mean. And so some people are more susceptible to being influenced by other people's worries than others are. So take it into account, and know that your worries serve no purpose. Caution is a bit different than worry. Caution is simply the understanding that comes from making a mistake. It is the expression, the manifestation of a lesson learned. The simplest one being, if you touch a hot oven, you get a burn, and you now, from now on, know to not touch the hot oven. Caution will never register in your field as anxiety unless you extend it to be anxiety through a belief system. Caution keeps you from stepping on scorpions and drowning in lakes and so on and so forth. And caution serves you. So don't confuse it with worry.
Thank you very much. I have a question.
Yes.
So I just come back from this 3 weeks amazing holidays with
All right.
very nourishing, inspiring how to say, company and
Yes.
nature and experiences, and a lot of release and opening up from within.
Yes.
So now I'm back home and I feel very strong call for strengthening my evolving daily practice, morning practice. And for that, I need to go early to bed, get early in the morning in order to have time before I go to work to do that. And it's challenging because my sleep is can be challenging. First of all, falling asleep can take
All right.
quite a long time, almost every night. And getting up early, like this morning I woke up at 5, and I couldn't sleep anymore. Even before 5 o'clock, it feels like I'm in this between states, sleep and awake, quite deep, but still not really sleeping, or kind of awake even though I'm dreaming. I'm not completely sure where, but I'm not fully resting. And I was sleeping very well, mostly during my whole holidays when I was not home. And now again, I don't sleep very well. So I would love to hear your comments on that.
Well, what is, from your perspective, causing you to remain alert? Are you worried about something?
No, no, I'm feeling great.
All right.
I
Are
feel
you,
like
in any sense, overstimulated?
maybe.
Yes. Do you have an evening practice as well as a morning practice?
Not really. Not.
All right. This is something we would suggest to you because, again, the time of day that you do your commitments to yourself and to your growth is really irrelevant. Yet, this waking and sleeping cycle is again very beautiful and important. Like we said, the dream state and the sleep state are very crucial parts of your experience. It is more than your body receiving rest. It is your spirit coming into your body and growth happening on other realms. So as much as you prepare yourself to wake up and go into your world, you might benefit from preparing yourself, from drifting from the world and going into the depths of your soul as you sleep. So it can be meditating, it can be doing gentle yoga, it can be reading something, ideally physical, for a certain period of time. It can be chanting or toning, but doing something that really calms you and quiets your mind so that you can really hear from within yourself and the external noise is not as loud. And even if you don't do that, or if you don't feel compelled to, we suggest to you and to everyone to not immediately be looking at your technology screens and then going off to bed, because that keeps your brain in a more active state, and it also creates a sort of interference with your biology through the blue lights in the screens. So if you can block the blue lights with glasses or with certain filters on your devices, that would be most ideal as soon as it gets dark, as then you are really aligning with the rhythm of the world around you. This is, in a sense, a minor detail that we suggest for everyone, but for you, yes, we do suggest creating an evening practice, doing something that allows you to prepare yourself to drift off into the sleep world.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and you may as well wish to take some different nightly supplements, some remedies. One such being, as we've always suggested, the ashwagandha, though as well, skullcap, valerian, and passion flower do have incredible benefits for relaxing you.
Okay, I will look into that. Though I just bought a lot of really good essential oils and the diffuser. So
Oh, yes.
with lavender, copaiba, and yeah, I will try that.
Chamomile would also be a very good oil for that diffuser for the sleeping purposes.
Okay. And so what about this sensation sometimes that I'm in between two states during the night?
Yes, that is occurring. That is, again, a sort of attempt to become awake and aware during the dream state. So you are getting close to that experience. We wouldn't worry so much about it. And we do think that as you apply some of these tools, it will be easier to go into the deep sleep, yes.
Yeah, because somehow it feels like a nice state, but then I'm not resting as deeply as normally.
Yes. We wouldn't worry so much about the not resting as much. Your body is getting exactly what it needs.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thanks to you as well. Oh, the channel would like to suggest, yes, for the recording to make sure that now it is on the speaker view rather than the gallery view.
Okay. It is.
All right. Very good then.
Yes. Anybody else has a question here on Zoom?
I
Yes,
have a
I do.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, is that you, Laurel?
Yeah, it is, Sarah. Go
Hi,
ahead.
sweetie. Oh yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Hen. Yeah, so my question, and I kind of already know the answer, but I did want to just bring it to this context. My friend is deeply distressed about the child trafficking and the disclosure. I guess Mel Gibson did a big disclosure on British radio or TV or something. Anyway, and so she's like watching these videos and reading all the facts, and it's such dark information, you know. And I know you talked about the nightmare. You know, what are we dreaming? What are we voting for with our consciousness? And I know lately the earth and the sun have been filling me with such ecstasy and spiraling this conduit into paradisical future earth that is so powerful. And the music that I'm listening to is so affirmative. And when my friend called me, in this state of just deep distress, I was really wanting to help her to focus on the positive and the beautiful. And of course, we can't deny that in this crazy unfolding reality, there's some horrendous darkness. So I guess my question is, what can I say to my friend, and just in general, how do we balance really honoring and having compassion for ending this kind of darkness with staying in that beautiful anticipation, and not only anticipation, but actually imbibing the paradisical frequencies into our beings? And so I just wanted to get your perspective on this.
Well, first of all would be understanding then that your grief about these experiences is very real. And to be able to hold your heart open to that within yourself and within others is great and wonderful. Though forgiveness is the energy that allows for things to change and to transform. When you come to understand that nothing will change when you remain upset and negatively focused about these experiences. So be prepared, we would say, for even more disclosure, though also at the same time realize that the greatest travesties in your world have already been revealed. So many more than could possibly be trafficked die every year from starvation. And we are as matter of fact about this, as we hope you are as well, that of course what is occurring in these dark cults is horrific, yet there is already as much horrific experience occurring right in front of you that you turn away from. And it may be very interesting for all of you to ask yourselves, why is that so? Why is that so? If you really came to see everything that is already happening right in front of your eyes and accepted it for what it is, there could be no disclosure that shakes you. And yes, there are more to come. Yes, there are more horrific ones to come. And so, again, understand that all of this is part of what you know as this sort of slingshot phenomena, or the bow phenomena, as you described it as, yes, where you pull yourself back into vast darkness. And the idea of disclosure is a wonderful symbol that you are about to propel forward from the darkness into the light. And you are about to do it much quicker. So when people are coming in this state of great distress, all you have to do is have compassion for their grief, yes, hold them in it, and understand that they have every right to feel what they're feeling, but don't allow their grief to diminish your joy. Don't allow their grief to diminish your blissful sense of the utopic apocalypse rather than the nightmarish apocalypse, because again, that is what you are creating and you are embodying. And again, there's a big difference between sympathy and compassion. So somebody who is taking in the negative energy from all of those bad experiences happening out there is in a sympathetic state where they are, with no benefit at all, emulating the negative vibration that others are experiencing, and therefore creating more negativity. The compassionate state is the opposite of this. It is holding your frequency as high as possibly you can maintain it, and project that frequency onto the other, not denying how they're presently feeling, but seeing a version of themselves that could feel the same joy, the same bliss, the same freedom that you are feeling. Having great love for the suffering that is there, great understanding, but allowing the vibration from within you to be more powerful than the vibration outside of you, because it is. The vibration beyond you can only become more powerful if you allow it in. If you start to, from within yourself, emulate, replicate that vibration. So again, this opposite compassionate response is encouraging others to emulate and replicate the vibration of bliss and joy that you are capable of holding. And as much as you can, continue to do everything that helps you to stay in that state of bliss and joy and expansion.
Great. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Oh, our great thanks and love to you as well.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
It's kind of touches on what Sarah just asked, but it's somewhat different.
All right.
Yeah, I first thought about my son when I thought of the question, and you know, as his mother, it's not good for me to suggest more than he's comfortable with. And yet I see many things in my world that would help him, your expression being one of them. But it's kind of a delicate balance, I feel like. You know, he has his own autonomy. He has, he's 39, and he is discovering things, and I know the individual journey is very important. And he's not particularly woo-woo as I am. In fact, some woo-woo just irritates him. So, but you know, there, as his mother, there's this tendency to want to share my gifts and share all the wisdom that I've gotten over the years from various what I would call, I'm not coming up with words very well right now, but various woo-woo or channeled experience, just readings that I've done and things that have opened me to feel safer in many ways about the whole human experience. And, you know, I guess I'm wondering how much I should offer. And also, I'm quite aware that, you know, he's a man, and I noticed that, and this was part of the question that I wanted to ask earlier, so maybe I can combine them a little bit. It seems easier. I'm thinking of the gentleman that shared earlier. I'm thinking that in general, and it's a gross generalization, but I seem to notice it in my world anyway, that men can have a more difficult time getting in touch with their heart, and just how to be with that and be helpful with that with other men in my life, like my brother. So that's kind of a big question. So what might you say about that?
All right. Well, in terms of sharing the wisdom with your son, first of all, there's a grand difference between suggesting something to somebody in a very gentle way and insisting that they do a certain thing. So as long as your reminders are just little slight bits of encouragement that can help him find his own path, it is all good, as you say. Now, in terms of which information to share, understand that you don't have to say, for example, that the Pleiadian extraterrestrial consciousness told us this and that about the cosmic unfolding, and we can feel better by so on and so forth. You can simply state the content of this information, such as the message about changing your belief systems, such as the information about being sympathetic versus being compassionate, such as the information about what it means to create your reality through your beliefs and through your behaviors. And this information is something that, in fact, many have listened to channeled beings who have said it and then turned it into psychological approaches far removed from the fantastical idea of woo-woo this or that. And so many of you woo-woo beings will have a much easier time interacting with the non-woo-woo beings out there if you learn how to translate the information into language that others are capable of hearing. Because again, everyone has their own sort of language of reality, regardless of what language they speak. They have their own keywords and phrases and concepts that register to them. And if you can change the universal understanding to a language that they are capable of hearing, then it will be much easier to have these sorts of conversations.
Okay, okay, good.
Another thing that is very easy to do with anyone, to perhaps light a spark in them without being so directive or controlling or motherly or parental in some sense, is to simply talk about a positive thing that has happened for you and how you came to make that positive change, what you came to understand, and how it makes you feel. Simply talking about your own experience and weaving in the bits of wisdom that you have extracted, and again, putting it in a language that they can understand, is a very powerful way to leave an impact on others. Can you play with that?
Yes, thank you. And regarding, you know, how a woman can talk to a man in general that is like, you know, I've just been a little frustrated because sometimes men just are so like in their left brain, and they very I guess my hands express it, very cut and dried, like cut and dried, and not,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, you must not let their belief systems impact your experience. Something that you may sometimes do is inadvertently see yourself from their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Actually, I may be already doing that, seeing myself through their eyes, or is that a suggestion?
Yes. No, that is what you may already be doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Uh-huh. Right.
As somebody who is empathic, you adapt to the way that they are perceiving you rather than being able to perceive yourself from the perspective of your own higher self.
Bingo. Yes. That, yeah. And it's not particularly helpful to me either, to be.
So a permission slip you can do is imagine that you are viewing the situation 10 feet behind you and above you.
Okay.
And look towards your body and see instead this brilliant light that surrounds your body and surrounds your heart. This is a sort of permission slip to shift back into the perspective of your higher self. When you view yourself from your higher self's perspective, you will see you as an innately worthy and powerful and loving creation. And when you always remember this, other people's limitations won't affect you in the same way.
Okay.
You will be able to keep your heart open to them. So the best way really to help them open their heart is to not contract your heart so that you match their vibration and you match their expectations. Instead, keep your heart as wide open as you can. And understand that every time you do that, there's a subconscious invitation you are making to them to open their heart as well.
Okay, okay, thank you. And back to the thing about you mentioned in the first part of the answer would be about sometimes this like sacred information has been used by psychologists in a helpful way when it's kind of translated to their world or something like that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, the most classic example of this in your times would be the psychologist Jung, who studied the mystical texts and translated them into something psychology could understand and left a very profound imprint on modern thought. Yet, even in more recent times, you can see the idea of some of the first channeled beings, what you know as Seth, even Bashar and Abraham, being a teacher that then led people who described themselves instead as life coaches, transformational coaches, to use that understanding without the same metaphysical aspects of it to reach many people who were oriented towards experiencing success in their own way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thanks to you as well.
Shall I ask another question? I don't see that anybody is lined up to ask. Is that right, Basanya? Basani?
Go for it, yes. Bashini.
Okay. Yes, I'm really frustrated with my eczema. It's been going on for months, and it used to come like last summer. It came and went away, and then it came again and it went away, and now it seems to just be there. I feel like it has on a metaphysical level, it has something to do with my picture of myself, like you know,
Yes.
lack of self-acceptance, maybe a way of hiding. And on a physical level, you know, I dropped the celery juice thing because it just became more stressful than it was helpful, stressful in terms of time and money. And so if you could maybe address how I can turn this around so it fades away.
All right. You are correct in understanding a degree of the metaphysical reasons here. It has very much to do with unconscious fears, fears about, again, how you are perceived, and fears about your general safety, how you are being perceived as an extension of the deeper fear of feeling safe. So again, the more that you release those fears and you ground yourself in the body, the more this will clear. It does have directly to do with the manifestation of these blockages that you can interpret in your root chakra and your solar plexus chakra areas. So again, grounding yourself, earthing yourself, bringing in the support of the earth, and clearing the anxiety will be very key. Now, on the more physical level, you may consider it having much to do with excess heat.
Yes. Yes. And how
So
to cool. How to cool.
do you take many things that are spicy?
I mostly avoid spice.
What about bitter
I strongly dislike bitter flavors.
and sour?
I'm not real hot on sour, but I do the lemon juice and water every morning.
And do you feel good after you take that?
Yeah, I do add a little bit of honey for
All right,
palatability, but I do
that is
feel,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
To an extent that increases heat. Though, yes, be very mindful of the spices.
Mhm.
Sometimes even those things that you are taking as supplements can increase the heat a little bit. So you must also take things that cool down.
Mhm.
If you can tolerate, yogurt and ghee is a wonderful thing to cool.
Mhm.
Herbs include fennel and comfrey and mint. Mint is a very good one. To drink mint tea, peppermint tea, spearmint tea would help the body cool down quite a lot. And on the face, you can use calendula and rose oil.
Okay, I'm thinking that just need a moment to check in with myself.
All right,
Um,
perhaps we may return to you then at another point.
yeah, yeah. I think that I may need some facilitation, kind of going inward about these safety issues. I do have a counselor I haven't interacted with for a while, but sometimes I am resisting the taking the time because there's some like survival issues up. I call survival issues. I do need to get into nature. I know that, and sometimes I resist that because I don't like to go alone. But that's another issue. But like this resisting, working on myself because of survival issues. I think this has kind of come up directly or indirectly before, and somehow I've just got to really get real with myself that I can't be putting what I'm calling survival issues first. Or can I? I mean, I'm a little confused because I do need some help with some things in a very practical way.
It is good to receive that help, though you must trust more in life
Mm-hmm.
because many of these things you are prioritizing are not actually what is meant to be your top priority. Again, understand that you find the greatest equilibrium and ease and flow within yourself on every level when you prioritize what calms you and what nurtures you and opens you the most. So it is really about then coming back deeper into your body and into your heart,
Yeah.
perhaps incorporating some movement and breath practices to help you release this anxiety. And certainly to go and do the process of inner child work to go back and reframe the memories that imprinted you with this fear, releasing the fear from those cellular levels on your body is quite key. And yes, really making sure that you always remember that your state of being is more important than anything else. Your state of being is more important than your so-called survival priorities, because again, those things you are calling survival priorities most of the time aren't really necessary for your survival. They are necessary for the path of survival that you are so focused on. But even if complications arose, there would arise other ways for you to survive. And you must remember that. And you must know that, again, as you relax yourself deeper, so many of these needs will come to resolve themselves.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thanks and love to you as well.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hey, s- um, like the idea that you were talking about earlier about translating some of this material into like ways that are very palatable and easy to understand from kind of like a, I don't know, like generally accepted scientific language, let's say.
Yes.
I think I kind of reminded, like for a lot of stuff, I did that kind of in a way, in my own sort of way. And yet like I kind of integrated it into myself so much that I've kind of like forgotten what it is. And so I feel like there's kind of like these blind spots as to what exactly I know and don't know, because I'm just like living it, so not even thinking about it. But I'm realizing that if I wanted to, I could like actually phrase this knowing into language and express it to people and really help people on their journey, and connect them easily. So like as far as like me being where I am now, not really knowing what I know because I kind of like I'm living it so clearly, like would you have any ideas about like, or like just suggestions or tips regarding how to mentally approach this process of letting this information kind of like what I know go from being like a background sort of like knowing in myself that I'm not even really thinking about, into something that I can actually like translate into words to help people? Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, if you know it, you actually know how to express it as well. And it may not come so clearly into words right now because there's no one in front of you that needs to hear it right now. Though with greater trust in yourself, you may know that when the circumstance arises that it is right for you to explain these things that you know, you will have been engaged with another person and started to see a bit of their way of thinking and their construction of reality, and be able to share the knowing that you have with them in a way.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. So again, trust that the manifestation of your reality is always perfectly aligned with what is wanting to grow and evolve from your soul in the moment. And when you know something, you don't need to always have it in your conscious mind. Because if it was always in your conscious mind, there would be too much information to process all the time. Though when you know it, when you've experienced it, and when it's become a part of you, and again, you come to interact with somebody or meet a circumstances that requires that knowing to be remembered, it will simply come to the surface. So we would simply suggest trust more in your capability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally hear you on that.
All right.
Hi. Thank you a
Hello.
lot. Great counsel. I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
Earlier on, we spoke about the aspect of the dream world and the reality world, being able to cross between both and making it a practice. I was wondering, are there specific practices to make the dream world and imagination feel a bit more closer to the tangible reality?
To make it feel closer?
Yes. To kind of bridge
All right.
this aspect of the sensation, the five sensory feeling.
Do you do shamanic journeying meditations or any sort of guided visualization meditation?
Similarly, yeah.
That is something we would very much suggest to be able to deepen in your ability to dream, certainly.
And would it bring, or understandably, are the five senses a bit more necessary to be depthened? Or meaning, do I need to, would it be great or would it be better if my five sensory feeling in the dream state would be a bit more accurate? Or I guess maybe that's being a bit too impatient.
In what way do you perceive it as inaccurate?
It would be touching a table, but not being able to sense the feeling of touching it.
But you know you are touching it.
Yes.
Yes. So understand that your psychic senses operate differently from your physical senses, and they're meant to function this way. It's part of
Okay.
what reminds you that you are experiencing a dream state. And if
So would
you
it,
adjust to and accept and enjoy the different qualities of sensation and sensory input in these other states, you can still experience the same depth within these extrasensory senses.
so it's kind of like a whole different playing field to relearn and understand or deepen even further its own set
Yes.
of senses. Wow. But thank you greatly. That is awesome.
Oh, yes, sir. Great. Thanks to you as well. And are there any questions that have been submitted live in the chat or something of this nature?
I would love to know, I guess you have been asked this question before, but why most of the channelers have closed eyes when channeling?
Well, with the eyes open, there is another field of sensory input that may distract the channeler. Some channelers do not express channeling with the eyes closed. Generally, when the eyes are open, the channeler is more connected with the pure idea of higher self. And in a sense, because the energy is less other as it comes through, it is quite acceptable to have that input coming through the channel as well.
I see. Okay. Any other questions? People in the Zoom? Manuela?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So about channeling, There's this thing in my country. It's called Umbanda. So what I believe that happens is that they are channeling, yet
Yes,
they are with their eyes open. Is there
yes,
any difference?
uh, yes. As we have said, typically when the eyes are open, one is channeling the idea of higher self. Understand that you can channel any such energy from source, from many other expressions of source through your being. One such example is energy healing. You channel a certain frequency and it emanates from your field. You can simply focus on the vibration of something like a flower, a tree, a plant, a color, and you can channel that energy by being focused on it and knowing that when you focus it into your imagination, the vibration starts to translate through your being. And so you can also channel different beings directly through your body while waking, simply by imagining them and again inviting them into your being. And well, yes, you can, if you would really like to, channel beings like ourselves with your eyes open as well. For this channel and for most channels, the idea of having eyes open would distract from the experience itself. And so the eyes are closed. Though in different ceremonies, when you are simply channeling in a non-verbal, non-linguistic way that is less complicated, it's quite potential to have the eyes open and channel at the same time.
Okay. So I've been introduced to a new concept or maybe a new way of seeing things. There's this question that has been asked: what do we need to believe to happen in our reality? So or maybe the changes that we need, or maybe the changes that we want to make in the world uh, came about. So this is really distracting me. I'm going deep into this thought. Um, I believe your words are easier for me to understand this question or this concept. I don't know if you can talk about it.
So the idea then is that you can change the world by what you focus upon within the world.
Yes, what we choose that we want to experience. What exactly is that we believe that we need to see to make the necessary changes to actually achieve the objective that you want.
Yes.
I'm not, I think I'm putting this in the right sense.
Yes. Well, the simplest way of saying it is, again, your beliefs create your experience, and anything that you would believe to be possible is possible. And you best get in touch with your beliefs through feelings. Feelings indicate to you whether your beliefs are in alignment with source or whether they're not in alignment with source. When you feel positive and open and in the flow, your belief systems are not obstructing your energy in any way. When you feel limited and constricted, there is a belief that is in the way. So when you get in touch with the idea, the vision of the reality you want to see, then you would come to embody that by shifting your belief systems to say that this is possible and that you are able to play the role in that new world that you would most like to play, and getting into that positive state that feels the way it would feel if that were your reality right now. And from that positive state, when you take actions and maintain your own personal positive focus, that energy leaves imprints on others. It ripples out to in turn show them the potential for positive change and love-based action. And one person living their passion will inspire many others to do the same, who will inspire many others to do the same, who will inspire many others to do the same as well.
So, if I understand this correctly, if I would choose to have a better world, and the catalyst or what needed to happen to make that a reality is basically trust in the universe that that will happen and really believe it, that would happen.
And as you maintain that positive state, take actions that are in alignment with it so that you can leave an impact on others and your own positive energy can rub off on them.
Got it. Thank you. That really helps.
Yes, our great love and thanks to you as well.
It seems like there's no more questions.
All right. Have people typed into the boxes?
No. No
No.
new questions.
Not on even the Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, all right. That is a quiet one today then.
Yes.
And then
Maybe
we may... Oh, all right. Yes.
one last question, if you please.
Yes.
I know of certain people that have an enhanced ability of perception in their current physical state, being able to kind of perceive spirits as well as energy. What would be one's practice to get to that certain level of perception or enhancing our current physical state of perception?
Do you believe it is possible?
Yeah.
All right. And for you in this case, since you believe it is possible, and we see that as the truth, it has to do with much of what you were saying before, in trusting in your psychic perceptions. Because what you are seeing in these psychic realms is not the same as what you see with your physical eyes of physical reality. You may have experiences where your psychic seeing and your physical seeing overlap with time, though you must come to trust more fully in your imagination and the other senses that express on these psychic levels. Understanding that your clairaudience is different than what you hear in the world, your clairvoyance is different than what you see in the world, and your clairsentience is different than your typical emotions and feelings. So, as you trust in these senses and bring your focus into them and accept them for as they are, knowing that you are perceiving everything you need to perceive, those senses can deepen and start to show you much, much more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, our great thanks and love to you as well.
So there's a question coming here in the chat.
Oh, all right, yes.
It says, can a channeler's beliefs affect the channeled message in any way?
Yes, it in fact always does. Because again, the energy from our realm is translated through the subconscious of the channel. And so the meaning and the belief systems and the definitions there do come through in the message. And this is why you will find every different person channeling us or any other group of consciousness would express it in a different way, and sometimes the messages contradict each other. And this is again why you must not take even the messages coming from us at face value. You must weigh it against your own heart. And as you do this, the most important thing to always ask yourself is, does this information lead me to feel light, free, open, connected, and empowered? Because the truth will always bring you to feel that way. The truth will always make you feel lightness, freedom, and flow. And anything that makes you feel constricted and limited is being distorted by a fear-based belief. So when you are able to take information in and not necessarily believe it right away, but ask yourself, when you take in that information, does this make me feel more free? Does this make me feel more passionate and empowered? Does this make me feel capable, safe, and empowered? You can then come to trust more clearly in that information.
Thank you.
Yes, our great thanks to you. Our love to each and every one of you. It is a pleasure for us to meet you. It is a wonderful interchange of ideas that you allow us to explore. We thank each and every one of you for participating, and we encourage you to remember that again, this is a grand dream you are experiencing, and you do have the power to create, to attract the experience that you desire. It happens by returning to love and seeing everything you experience in a positive way for the greater purpose that it serves you, in discovering that empowerment that exists within. These times are times of great change, great evolution, and you are a key part in that process. So the love and passion within you is required for allowing this transformation to occur on your planet. We thank you for participating in this way. It brings us great joy and hope to see this. We wouldn't even say hope. That is a translation for a word or a concept that we can't really put into words in the right way. But we see you growing and evolving, and we trust that. And we enjoy participating in that growth with you. Our great love is with you, and we then wish you a very pleasant rest of your day or evening, or whatever it is for you at this time.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. You know what? I just realized at some point I got kicked out of the Zoom because of my internet.
Uh-huh.
And then I just realized right now that I didn't record. I had to click on record again. I didn't do that.
Oh,
So
that's
we don't
okay.
have the whole thing today. Sorry about
Well,
that.
it is all recorded on Facebook. It's just slightly lower quality, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Okay, good.
People watch the videos anyway. I think I'm more obsessed with the quality of the video and audio than other people are. I don't really know if that's true. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm a perfectionist. Not really.
No, don't fall in
Kind
that.
of. I can be perfectionistic. I'm not a perfectionist, but I can be a little bit. Virgo.
It was amazing. Completely amazing.
Oh, very grateful. It was a nice one. It felt very calm today.
Yes,
Maybe I'm just feeling very calm today.
me too.
Yeah. Keep it mellow. Yeah, I love it. Lovely, lovely.
The silence.
Yeah.
So what are you all planning for the weekend?
Being in lockdown and not leaving the house.
So the wonderful journeys that will happen in there. That's going to be cool.
Yep. Meditating, astral traveling, and staring at screens. So fun. Every weekend.
Hey, darling, do you know when you might be traveling? Are you thinking of trying to get to Pennsylvania or?
I think the United States is too psychotic right now for me. It seems really
Crazy.
unsafe. You know, like everyone I talk to about it is like, you don't want to be here right now. You should just stay where you are. And
Makes sense. If I weren't already here, I'd definitely be like, I'm not going there.
Yeah, and my parents are at risk, so if I went to visit them and then I, you know, socialized, it would always be kind of like a, you know, cautious, like precarious thing.
Yep, no fun.
Mm-mm.
I'm still in my bed, or I'd get on my video.
All good.
Oh.
Well, thank you for a beautiful transmission.
You're welcome. Thanks for being a beautiful host. Yes.
Welcome.
And Bastiani, I've done that before when I've gotten thrown off and then I forgot to record. So we cut and pasted the Zoom to the Facebook, or maybe Dante, you'll just use the whole Facebook. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'll just use the whole Facebook because
that's easy.
All of that effort of copying and pasting is a little bit too much for me right now.
I totally get it.
It doesn't make that much of a big difference, I think.
Yeah, it's
but
not that bad at all.
I feel like this phone camera is a lot better. It may even suit me for making videos itself.
Looks
That's
great.
cool. How'd you end up getting the phone? Did someone bring you one, or?
No, somebody connected me with this local Mayan guy who was selling a phone that he somehow got, and it was actually basically like just a little bit more than it would be in the US to buy this kind of phone, which is a shocker.
Oh my gosh.
It's a shocker for here because the technology is behind.
Interesting.
And more expensive.
Wow.
But I do have this amazing camera for the rest of the videos I'm making for the tours. But I made a video yesterday when it was out of focus. That's the issue with it, is I can't see the screen and me at the same time. So I recorded this whole great video where I'm out of focus.
No.
So it was even lower quality than it would have been if I just used the damn phone. So I'm just kind of learning to keep it simple. Stupid is kind of the key.
That's my motto.
As they say, less is more.
Less is more,
Is more. I love it.
I'm saying good night from here. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Good night, Bastiani.
We'll sleep deeply and peacefully tonight.
Yeah.
Deep state.
Yes. I love that idea of preparing for sleep.
Yes. Yes. Good night ceremony.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, bye, everybody. We'll talk
Bye,
to you.
Sarah.
I'm sure.
Your experience is
bye,
to be in the eye of the storm. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye, love. Oh, bye, Josh.
Oh,
How you
thank
doing with your
you.
dragon?
Thank you, Danielle.
It's in progress.
Awesome. We'll talk
Uh,
soon. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
see,
Bye, Josh.
see you soon.
Mm.
Well, hey, it's been awesome.
Yeah, so good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And I'll have to poke you as soon as the other one kind of just finally transfers the payment, and then we channeling session for or private session for next week.
Awesome. Sounds
Upon your
good. Looking
time,
forward to it. We
and
could
also
connect with
awesome
you.
clothes.
Yeah. Awesome clothes.
Yeah, I wanted to get a dashiki like soon, but things in lockdown.
Oh, I'm
Um,
glad.
but I might be able to just go at it from eBay or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, this looks really cool.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah.
With the orange
This
vest too.
this vest. Yeah, they made it custom for me. They got the fabric and they made the vest. They were wanting to make me a complete jacket, but I was like, no, make a vest. But I almost wish I had the jacket now. But I think now that I have this shirt with the vest, it's like they fit so perfectly together. So it was meant to
Yeah.
be. I also have pants, but the pants are too tight, so they have to like remake the pants, but they don't have the same fabric in it. They're gonna have a weird, funny patch in the back. But c'est la
That's
vie.
gonna be cool.
C'est la vie.
All sorts of colors.
I know. Yeah, I need more colors. I definitely need more colors. This needs more colors too. I think once it has more colors, I'll feel happier about it.
But I can already see it with more color. Yeah.
Yeah.
It all looks cool, it all works.
Yeah, it's cool. You think it's cool? I'm self-conscious of it somehow. But no, it is really cool actually. Crazy.
Yeah. Design and everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's been terrific.
Yeah.
I'll poke you whenever, fingers crossed that this person pays, or else I gotta wait for another thing, but everything's gonna be all right.
All good, yeah. Whenever it's gonna be.
And also, you don't get to wear crazy masks when you go buy things.
I have to wear the crazy mask to even go outside of my house.
Oh wow. Okay, so they've gone to that point over there. Here
It's been that way the whole time. And like there's like a gap between my house and the rest of the property. The kitchen's on the other side of the property and the public street is in between. So even to go over to the kitchen, I have to get my mask, and I lose my mask in the room all the time. And sometimes it's so stupid. Like today, I just put a scarf on, and the police officer was like, "That's not a mask," and I'm like, "I live here. I don't know. I'm sorry."
Well,
Yeah.
they'll chill out. They'll chill out and they'll laugh about it all.
Eventually.
Like
We're gonna get there.
I made sure in a way with I made sure to technically get or order soon because I didn't want to, I don't want the faceless smile type of deal. So eventually I technically asked the person to tell me if there's anything like an LED mask, and I found it. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I'm setting up after 2 commissions to get that in order to just go around with like a pixelated smile or various kind of images, just to have people smile at that instead of having a blocked face.
That's really cool.
It's gonna be funny.
Dope.
Just
Dope.
maybe even making a small little drawing of the third eye on the mask just to have people go, wait, what?
Yeah. They're selling masks here that have like the bottom half of the anonymous mask, the V for Vendetta mask, and I think that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, let's play around with this, just making various motifs.
Make it fun. Teal Swan made frequency masks.
Yeah. Hey, there's even those raver masks that change with what was it, with the music that you're playing, so it shows kind of shockwave signs.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. All this
Kinda
stuff's
crazy.
kind of affordable to a certain degree. It's just, yeah, just play around with this whole thing. Getting out of this whole apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You're gonna
Well,
sign
hey,
off for now.
awesome. Yo, thanks again. This is epic, and we'll come back in contact. Stay awesome.
Thank you. Look forward to it. Much love.
Loads of love.
Ciao.
Epic colors. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.